sort of obsession with X actually goes way back because, you know, we've heard about XAI of late. Of course, there's Tesla.
All right, so the stock is 445. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. When the whip comes down. Oh. Yeah, 5:45. Do you know where your children are? Hey, everybody. Ham's been on the pickleball court and now wants to do a call. And when Ham wants to do a call, we do a call. We do a call when Ham wants to do a call. Fraud is at its finest in the U.S. markets. And you can't blame them because nobody enforces the rules. So they figure, hey, we're somebody special. Hey, Kevin. Hey, son. I don't know who he slayed today, but he doesn't. RAD? All right. Sounds familiar. SEC is useless. Well, they're useful for Goldman Sachs. They're useful for their co-conspirators. They're useful in yeah, that's my point. They're useful. Oh, it's Rite Aid. Rite Aid is a good, I mean, I don't know anything specific, but any of those kind of stocks is where money will flood to if we have a correction, if we have a recession, if we have some sort of cataclysmic economic scenario, because everyone buys toilet paper, everyone buys birthday cards, everyone buys shampoo and razor blades, and everybody buys prescription medicine. I guess it was CVS that's doing a reorganization of their back office. I got 50 more finger. That's great. Hanging moss. That's great. Do you think our time is close? I think it is, but I'm always, darn it, I left my glasses somewhere, but that's all right. I don't need them. You guys can have lunch. I haven't eaten, but we're in August now, so we have to face the facts that any kind of movement in finger could take September, October as well. I mean, now that we're in August, it's not the future month, it's the current month. So I don't know when it's going to run. The way the stock trades, I think it should be uh, nearer term, but you can't always count on that light. Have you ever noticed Susan looks quite beautiful when the light hits her from a certain angle? Of course, you can't always count on that light. The money, Arthur. You mean you're going to cut me off from the family? No, Arthur. You mean the money? You mean the money, Arthur? Yes, Arthur. Have you ever noticed that Susan is quite lovely? When the light hits her from a certain angle, and she does make a wonderful chicken. Oh, all right, so we've got 4 minutes before Ham comes. Finger, GTII, MMTLP, MMAT. I don't see it. I think finger, GTII, but unless there is a groundswell demanding immediate action, I think MMTLP, you could go take a trip around the world before that'll go. Just one catapult and the hedgies jump. That's probably right, Thomas Dubois. They're not doing well. I mean, this crime, which has been so lucrative and so easy, even a dunderhead could do it, and many do. Now, they've squandered the best years of their life. They can't learn how to be an electrician, or a long haul driver, or a fireman. And they certainly can't learn how to be a lawyer or doctor without a decade's effort. So their lives are going to change. Are there any rules regarding how much dark pool trading can be done? I don't think there's any dark pool going on in Finger, but I've been up to Kennebunkport. I had a girlfriend, really, I did. I don't think Finger's being traded in dark pools, but if it is, so what? The trades still have to hit the tape, not the tape you see, but they still have to. Look, just because it's done in a dark pool doesn't mean, just sell it there and we have no obligation. No, it has to show up in a prime broker's account. The obligation to deliver still exists. Dark pool, perhaps in a squeeze could hide the buying pressure, but when a squeeze comes here, it's not going to have any. I just don't see it. I think it's a chimera or a Shimura, whichever way you want to pronounce that word, or a third way. I'm a CIA operative? No, I never wanted to be a spook. What do you mean about the S1 being done? All right, we don't have time, but the S1, David, was filed last September on behalf of the criminals at the Lynn Partners. So they withdraw it. Oh no, they withdrew the S1. Oh my God, there's something wrong. No. How about if you read it? They must have fired Lynn Partners. They might have fired Benchmark Capital too, who introduced them. And they're withdrawing that toxic, convertible, crap, destroyer of worlds financing. So why would you see that as a bad thing? It's a great effing thing. Now they can go out with the hot chick. They don't have to be stuck with the one they brought. Wow, it's hot. It's very hot.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. You hit it. Hit the ground running.
All right, I found William, and again, we're trying to do the call today early. It's beautiful outside. I don't want to sit here and watch
Beautiful.
these
It's hot as
scumbags
hell.
all day, but a beautiful day. Just again, this is not to buy or sell. In case the SEC is listening, we're just here giving advice of a couple of youngsters here and our history of figuring this nonsense out. And for those who do play pickleball, I played a guy who won a tournament today, 4.5, whatever that means. 26-year, 25-year-old kid, and I hold my own. So for those who think I can't play, that was a good day. I blasted it at him, and he put him back, but then I re-blasted him. Anyway, I did that this morning, and I came home. I said, let's knock this call out today because it's too nice out, and it's definitely a beach day. So if you can get your ass out, quit your job and go do it. Go do it. It's beautiful out. Anyway, just let's start off with finger motion, William. Yesterday, the company requested that the SEC drop their S1 registration. I think it's an S1. Am I correct, William?
That's it, S1.
And what that does is the company cannot issue any shares of stock because they would be unregistered. That's how you register the shares. So whatever's coming down, whoever the shorts want to buy, they can't call the company because there's no shares. They can't issue a share. They can't do anything.
That registration statement was specifically the seller listed was the Lynn Partners. And
Right,
so it's great news that this destroyer of worlds is gone.
Is gone. They can't do anything. They're trapped. Any shares they want to buy, they got to buy them from the holders, the people on this call, or the investors. That's it. So you want to buy stock? Good luck. We all know. We're watching it, and so this is a great day. You know, the companies. Everyone's always concerned. Oh, the company's going to offer them stock and kill the deal. Well, that's off the table now. It's all gone. The company obviously knows that these guys are trapped and pulled the registration statement. Now, the most interesting thing was brought to us by a shareholder, not the brightest guy. He's the tallest guy, but he's not the brightest. He brought it to my attention saying that they could have killed this deal at any time. Why did they choose today? Why now? All right, so again, timing is everything. The devil's in the details. We all see it. We all understand it now.
Well,
And
they
I'm sure
can sign up a top drawer investment bank instead of these pretenders like the Lynn Partners.
Yes, they can go. They can move freely. They're gone. No attachments. And the company's fully funded and the biggest market in the world. And these idiots tried to destroy it. And now they're trapped. Thanks to everybody here who put their money up, who spread the word. And just on a different note, I forget this woman today. She put a picture up her with her local congressman or senator, I forget what it was. And she went there with the MMTLP, and those investors, I can't thank them enough because they are changing the game. You know, William, you exposed this. These people are actually taking it to the next level. They have no choice, but I applaud what they're doing, and I tell everyone, go to your local senator, your representative, and get them to speak and say something to the SEC. There's strength in numbers, and that number is growing. 1 a day, 2 a day, they'll add up. Instead of 15, they'll be 40 soon. All right, and then there'll be 50. Once people start seeing names join this ranks, the bigger names will start joining. So DC is on your side now. I just want people to read. I put this story with the big frog up there again. There's about 7 stories here, every gory detail, and how these criminals have navigated and looted the system, and how the DOJ is on their back now, and they expect them to start ratting on each other. Read the stories; they're earth-shattering. What was the number, William?
Well, I read it, and I'll look for it just to correct myself. But 27.5 trillion for one broker dealer. So the
U.S. government, the SEC, and FINRA has allowed people, terrorists, as far as I'm concerned, until we know their names, they're terrorists, to naked short shares into the U.S., take the investors' money, and you know what? Now the whole system is at risk. All right, so I tell people all the time, all these stocks that you think you have big winners in, and your pensions, be careful.
Oh, it could disappear in a day, a week.
And everyone's always talking. Oh, I'm going to retire. Your pensions get destroyed because they all own the same stocks. All right. So again, these are things that put them all together. This is a system that's unraveling right in front of your eyes. All right. So be careful. And when they need money, they're going to sell Apple to pay off their liabilities, or NVIDIA. So be careful. These big winners, they're all in the same names. The way they go up is the way they're going to go down. So be careful on those things. On finger motion, again, the timing of the S1 being pulled is sending, to me, is sending a huge message that something's coming down. I don't know what it is, but I just got this gut feeling that it's showtime. All right, everything's been set up. They have West Christian. They're monitoring everything that's going on, and now the company's making moves in the regulatory arena. So something's cooking here. But again, I just wanted to get that off my chest. People keep asking me what stock am I going next to. I put up 4 stocks in a little on Twitter and told everyone to take it. Give me your opinion. Which one is next? If you want to go look. I listed my 4 stocks that I'm looking at to buy next, when this goes. Okay, so you can do your own due diligence. I put it up there, find your own. But you can pick one of mine. But again, it's on Twitter, and most of it, it's a joke. All four choices are GTII. So if you are looking, that's what I picked. That's it. That's where I'm going next. Again, studying and data and proof all point to stocks that I follow. Again, there's many stocks that are out here that are great, big shorts in them. For example, I talked about Tupperware. No one knows what the hell's going on in Tupperware. I don't even know what's going on. So to get in a stock like a Tupperware, where the shorts are clearly manipulating it all over the place, the shareholders are completely uneducated. GTII and Finger Motion have shareholders that are, I'll say in GTII, they're the most educated, and right behind them is Finger Motion. So if GTI is 100%, Finger Motion is 96%. Again, I don't know all the Chinese investors. I don't know all those people, but the word is getting around quickly. The data, which I just posted up from Tom Ronk, we get it daily from him. and that's a $50,000 report, which I didn't pay for, but we can get the data now because it's paid for. That information is there. It's up to almost 163 million shares. And people say, well, how do you know they didn't cover it? Well, I'm looking at the stock today. If there's someone's covering, the stocks are going to go up. There's no one covering. They just keep selling more. And like I told everyone, or I posted this morning, when I see finger motion go 15 going towards 20, that's when I'm going to look at Jeffries for puts. I know one gentleman bought him already, and I wish him well. But again, I'm waiting for the move. I need confirmation first. If Jeffries is the prime and the stock is running, every dollar is $160 million loss. Lynn only has $200 million. So if they're over leveraged, that's going to be gone real soon. All right, and that means the liability goes to Jeffries, and I believe Jeffries will turn into a Credit Suisse and disappear. That's what I see. And I showed you, and I showed everybody that when Bear Stearns went out, they bought puts on Bear Stearns. I think it was $30, $40 away. And in 2 days, the stock went from 60 to 0. Okay, so these things do happen on the downside, like Silicon Valley Bank. They disappear quickly. When the shit hits the fan and people know how much money they're losing, the game's over quick. So those are the things I look for on those trades. I try to think ahead. If you're playing the equity markets, understand what your moves are going to be. It's like a chess game, all right? But they have to meet your criteria when you set up your plan. That's my plan. That's what I look at. Any questions, William?
Well, I did pull your article out, and I'm not wearing my glasses, which all of a sudden I need, but it says this is just one of the clearinghouses in Europe, and it's $27 trillion. But then the sentence below it says over 27.5 trillion in failing trades in Europe in 2022. So I guess it's safer to say 20.
I don't know how
it's $30 trillion.
How anyone allows this to go on. I don't care who's running
That's
this
trillion
shit.
with a T. That's trillion. It's not billions like they're sending to Ukraine. It's as much as our national debt in failing trades in 1 year in Europe. It's incredible.
And you know what? If you go back, I told you Tom Ronk said that number was trillions many years. I put it up on Twitter a long time ago. And I can go dig it up, but I know I posted that where he knew the number a long time ago. So this is a massive problem. They don't know how to end it. But you know what? One at a time, I told you, once we get over the hill, we can slaughter the whole Union Army once we go over the little round top.
Well, those balances, at least initially, start in U.S. prime brokers. I guess if they do reverse splits and all the other machinations, they can take it out. But just imagine the fees that go to the U.S. prime brokerages for handling $30 trillion in these fictitious shares. $30 trillion.
People, if you really think about it, and I always told, attack the auditors. If they're unsettled trades, meaning they haven't completed the transactions, how are they compensated for? How is the revenue from the commission of a trade if it isn't settled?
How do they book the commission? They haven't finished their job.
All the brokerage firms' financials are all wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Every one of them. Everyone was taught in college as an accounting course. If I'll give an example, I'll date myself. If Frank Sinatra's given a concert, he doesn't earn it until he actually does the show. So again, how are these guys reporting income on trades that they never settled? That's part of the transaction.
It's a good point.
So if anyone down the road,
so to take your thought further, if this ever blows up, a lot of these brokerage firms are going to have to take hits to earnings that they've already recorded. Imagine that.
That's 100%. All their financials are wrong. Goldman, Morgan, all of them. JP Morgan, Bank of America, every one of them. And they're the first to call other companies garbage. They're the first ones to throw a stone, right? What is that? Never throw stones at a glass house? Is that it? Was that what it is? What's that line?
Well, or at people bigger than you are.
All right. Well, so we discussed the accounting, but the news of the day is that the company Finger Motion has canceled their S1. The only way for a naked short to get stock is in the battlefield. They can't call up, beg, cry. We can do this. The company can't do anything now. The registration statement is shut down. There's no stock, and that's it. All right. So basically, that's where they have to go. They can play all the games back and forth. There is no sellers in the stock. The short sellers, Lynn Partner, is just playing defense right now. When the buying comes in, they try to stop the momentum and stop people and try to get people to give up on the stock. That's all they're doing right now. So basically, they're sitting here wishing and hoping that people bail out of the stock. When the stock spikes up a little bit, they come in and try to move it down like they did yesterday. We can't let it go. We can't let it go. That's the battle cry on the short side. But they're not doing anything. I told you, they don't want to sell it lower. They don't make any money, but they can't let it go higher because they don't have any money to meet the margin calls. So that's why you have a stock doing nothing like today. And I'm the firm believer in accumulation is the killer. Always leads to higher prices. Accumulation. Always worked. I always tell the story to you. I bought 30 million shares of a stock. It took 2 months to do it. All right. It was a big board stock. And I had to wait for the fund to finish selling it. But once they were done selling it, every day the stock was 33 to 35, 33 to 35 for 2 months, every day. And I had unlimited buy orders, and I couldn't move the stock. Then the seller stopped, and the stock opened up 7 points higher, and Morgan Stanley called me up and bought every share from me. All right, so accumulation always leads to higher prices. The sellers, real sellers, can only sell one time and they're done. Naked shorts can sell unlimited times, but they're done. You can see that they're done. All they're doing is trying to maintain. They have margin problems. They have regulatory issues. I do believe the DOJ is on their ass. And I do think that based on that article with the big frog on it, the federal authorities are, once they get one, they'll all turn. Savvy management, that fat bastard will rat out everybody. Everyone on the street knows him, and they all said that they're waiting for that guy to rat people out. That's the word I hear. All right? That's people that know him. He did all the deals. He was always a big mouth. But I'm hearing that from people that on the street that know him from Maxim or this place or that place, that guy's going to be, they're all concerned that he's going to give up everybody, right, once the shit hits the fan.
Unless he commits Arkancide.
Well, he's not, listen, he wants to keep his $10 million condo in Fisher Island. He's going to be putting the Viking horns on and singing opera soon. Trust me. I told you, I grew up, I knew the toughest, craziest bastards in creation. When it comes to go to jail for 10, 20 years, they all rat each other out. All right? I don't care how crazy you are. They all do the same thing. And I guess we could all know kind of what that, you can read the newspapers yourself and figure out those type of people. They always do. Right? They give each other up. But again, it's a beautiful day. I wanted to knock this out early. Listen, the manipulation, back and forth, it means nothing. I know everybody wants to cash out in a second. Be careful on your big cap names, all right? When the shit hits the fan, they drop these things fast. I looked at the video, down 30 today. All right? That's just the way it goes. As fast as they go up, as fast as they go down. All right? So be careful on those big names. You know, lock in profit. You never go broke. Locking in profit, like in NVIDIA. All right, if you own it, be careful. You can always sell it. If it drops 100, 200 points, you can always buy it back. All right, but
you do have some questions.
Yeah, shoot.
I'll just go in order, and if you don't know anything, one guy's asking.
The one question I will tell you up front,
Yep.
is my backhand in pickleball is outstanding. So my backhand was my better shot. I know.
Is it a two-handed or a one-handed?
One-handed, and I can whip that thing so fast, and I knock it into the court, 100 out of 100 times. My forehand I hit the ball harder, but if I don't bend down properly, I'm taking your head off because it flies. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out. Go ahead.
Someone did ask who you whooped today.
I will get his name. I don't know. He's a young guy. I didn't whip him. He won, but I stayed with him. I can tell you that.
So anyway, one guy's asking about RAD, Rite Aid. Do you know anything? That stock apparently is going up.
Yeah, that's an old. I forgot what's the symbol on it. I forgot.
RAD now. I don't know what it was.
RED.
A it's RE. I thought it's okay. Maybe it's.
No, it's Robert Apple David.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, obviously the stock has been making sure that these are exact candidates like Tupperware, RAD. These are the exact photocopy of GameStop. Big old names, New York Stock Exchange companies, right? Have been shorted down from 11 to whatever, down to whatever dollar. And now they're trying to unwind these things, and they pop. Again, but, I don't follow the history of it, but they all have the same pattern, right? Tupperware went from 60 cents to almost $5 or whatever, over 5. And they pull the plug, and it's straight back down. Now they're doing it to Rite Aid. Again, Rite Aid's on every corner in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make a difference. These guys could care less. You get no medicine. You can't get anything. They just everything that you grew up investing in on Wall Street. Well, like the movie theaters, AMC. Everyone goes to the movies. It's the cheapest theater you can get, and yet these guys want it. They want to destroy it so that your kids don't have any place to go. Think about how crazy this is. Short AMC. Don't let them up for air. Keep shorting it. Don't let it go up at all costs. How sick are the people behind trying to destroy that company?
It's amazing.
It's not like it's $400. It's $5. Give it a break. Go someplace else.
It's amazing.
Think about it. Now they want to short Rite Aid. They want to put that out. They want to put this one out. They want to put that. I told you, they think they're Julius Caesar. And they can become Julius Caesar. Thumbs up, you can survive. Thumbs down, you die. That's it.
I am destroyer of worlds. That's from that movie. I just want to say, this is from me in case the SEC is listening. Why don't you settle the trades instead of listening to us? The real corruption is going on from the other side of the fence, not here. But anyway, all right, I got that off my
chest. They do. They have their fancy lawyers. Maybe the Kramers have Gibson done. They're well-paid lawyers making calls to the SEC to investigators that they do work with and dropping a dime saying, well, this company's no good, finger motion, or Lynn Partners. We've been around. We're a very prestigious Madison Avenue firm. Look at finger motion. They just canceled their S1. What are they planning? Are they orchestrating a short squeeze? Would Lynn Partners be crying and saying that? I wonder if they are doing that. Right?
So one question comes up repeatedly, and I answered it in my sort of hot-headed way. But one is just about dark pools. Is that going on now? Do they hide the buy transactions? Do they hide short sales there? Are they able to get away?
Yes. I put it up. If you look at Tom Ronk's report on finger motion, there's a lot of dark pool action versus the regular short. You can see the difference between the reported short that Dozer, D-O-Z-E-R, puts up every day, that LSU freak. He puts it up every day. Thank you very much. But he puts it up every day, and there's a discrepancy from the numbers. So obviously, there's more trades that aren't showing up. Yes.
But that's what Tom Ronk picks up.
Yes, he gets the data from all the exchanges, all the data everywhere.
So.
And he has to pay a lot of money to get that information.
And rely on his networks that he's built over years. Couple of questions on the S1 that was just withdrawn. One is, do you think the S1 being out there was keeping institutional investors from buying into
No.
Finger because they
No.
knew?
No.
No, okay. And then the second one is a gentleman saw on Twitter speculation that maybe Finger is going to replace that registration statement with a new one. Is that possible?
I assume, but when you file a registration that is opened and approved by the SEC, I don't think it can happen in a day. So
Right.
if they do file a new one, it doesn't just come in and say, okay, it's approved. It takes time, and I'm sure they'll have to show their cards what they're doing with it, right? So whatever it may be. So let's say, for example, they cancel the registration, and now they're going to retain Goldman Sachs. I'm just making a name up as a replacement. All right, they would have to put that name in there, saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing now. This is the Goldman Sachs S1." You know, and maybe because they are now fully financed, business is going, got rid of the toxic guys. Maybe a big firm will follow it. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
That would be interesting. This is a macro issue. The U.S. debt has been downgraded. Do you think that's going to help crypto? Does it have an effect
Yes.
in the
yes.
markets, the short squeezes?
Everyone's going for the safe haven.
Right.
You know, I listen. I'm not a crypto guy, but I'm definitely not. If I did have $1 billion, and you know, I'd definitely be looking for places to park money that is safer than U.S. banks.
Okay. Do you want to comment on the? I don't even know how to elaborate on this, but the congressional inquiry, I think, into BlackRock about facilitating monies to Chinese arms builder companies.
Everybody knew BlackRock has been investing in China. They all knew it for years. It's been going on a long time.
Okay. So it doesn't affect Finger.
Listen, I think that the people got to get over this Chinese thing. If you go to China, if you're so crazy and concerned about China, go there. Besides looking at the military pictures that you see all the time, go meet the Chinese. They're more like we are. They're more American than we are. Trust me. They're capitalists. They want to make money. All right. These people are.
The only difference is a lot of them work harder than we do.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that. I mean, you go to the mall, and you know, wherever you may be in the cities, they're spotless. I mean, they work hard. Everyone's going to work. It's very. I've been to nightclubs in Macau. They're out there. It's like a modern version of Studio 54. They're out. They're spending money, packed with young people, and you know, they're not signing up for the military. They don't want anything to do with it. Trust me.
Right.
So I think that we got to get over that already. We're all on the same planet. Again, we're all going for the same thing, and I think that this anti-China propaganda is nonsense. Go there and come back and tell me what you see. I've been there 6 times. Trust me. Go there and look.
Are you able to give advice or suggestions on when people should start selling Finger if it starts to go up?
I can't. How am I going to tell you? I don't know what price you paid. Listen, if your family has no money and you bought the stock at 5 and it runs to 9, you have to start making sales to protect your family. You know, take your original investment off the table as it goes. You have to. That's life. You have to do it. If you're the Rockefellers, then you let it go. I mean, what's the difference? You know, if you're super wealthy, who gives a shit? All right, I'm like you. I have a family. I have to take care of bills. You know, that's just the way it goes. Remember, no one gives a shit about you. When the shit hits the fan and you have no money, you can't sit there and say, "Well, I had a winner and I held on too long and it turned into a loser." If you have 1,000 shares, as it starts to go, you sell 100. You sell 100. You sell 100 as it's going. You say, "Oh my God, I sold 300 shares. I bought 1,000 at 5. I sold 300 shares and I got back my 5,000. Now I have 700 shares left. And every time I sell it, I'm in the black. If I did that in GameStop, we wouldn't have sold it at 118, and I would have sold 100. I would have sold 1,000 at 200, 1,000 at 250, 1,000, whatever it was, all the ways up. Instead of thinking I was a smart ass at at 118. Remember, we bought it 3 3/4. The highest we sold was 118. All right, I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that big. All right, but I held on to 118, not 500. All right, so I learned my lesson, and I'm teaching you. This is the lesson. You keep selling it. Imagine if I had 100 shares left and I sold it at 500.
I know
right,
which one you'd tell your grandchildren about.
Right, I almost got the top on 100 shares, not a million shares. No one's going to ring the top and say, I bought 5,000 at 5 and I sold it at 549 and 7/8. I almost got the top. That and a token to get you on the subway. All right, no one does that. So I was taught by the best on the street, a guy who runs $16 billion of his own money, owns a baseball team, and he always made sales as they went up.
This question it's hard to get it, I'm sure, across, but he's asking, he understands that funds, when they sell, so-called funds, when they sell the stock short or sell stock long that doesn't exist, he gets that. There's money in these accounts. Is that money that is sitting in those prime broker accounts, are those monies considered assets? Are they
Yes,
assets?
they're using it as leverage to do other things, but the money is, you don't get access to the money till you close out your trade. Go short a stock. As soon as you close out the transaction, that's when you get your profit, and that's the difference.
Or if you convince the company to do a reverse split, that's the other one.
Well, that's there's 100 tricks that they try to do. Listen, just keep an eye on everyone. Listen, I met with CELU. The guy's a neurosurgeon from a trauma center. He knows shit about the equity markets. And what did he do? I told him to fight, and he did the opposite. He took money from Yorkville. They did the deal at 65 cents with warrants, 18 million shares. I told everyone to stay away. He needed more money. That was $6 million. He took another $3 million at 35 cents. The only thing left this company can do, and it's a spin-off of Biogen. Go read the news. I can't even pronounce the shit that they're doing. All right? Great people, great people, great people. They're destroying the company. The company is not going to survive. It'll survive, but they're below $1, so they're going to get the boot off of NASDAQ, right? Unless they come up with some earth-shattering news. But you know that Yorkville is going to keep selling into it, so it's going to be tough to get over $1.
I'm sure the Yorkville contract says if you're kicked off NASDAQ, you're in default. They go back to them, they say reverse stock split, and they rinse, repeat, and do it again.
So after watching this and reporting it to you, I put it up every day, told you to stay away. My next thing is I see them, they're going to get the boot from NASDAQ, and they're going to wind up reversing the stock to get it back over $1. Where did you see that before? MULN, ROOT, and whatever other name you want. I can't remember them all. And the stocks, all it does is get to a higher number again, and they start shorting it again. That's it. That's rinse, repeat. That's it.
So maybe because you touched on it, but maybe you could explain why in Finger and GTI, for example, we collectively have an advantage as opposed to just hopping into the stock of the day, the idea of the week, mainly because we know that it's one trap short. We've been following the volume. It's more of a speculative investment than just gambling.
Listen, the whole stock market's a gamble. We've done our homework, and we were, as a team of investors, everyone from Dozer to Big RJ or GBG, whatever the hell he is, to Dozer, and all these people that have helped out, from Christian, Shawnee,
Little
everyone.
RJ. JR, little J.
Ace, with his 49er hat. I still can't stand it. But again, everyone's helped out, and I can't thank everybody enough. And we just kept reporting. Listen, there's a lot of twists and turns. It's like a crazy story that, every day there's something here with this Alpine and GTII, how they're still staying alive. We have people reporting on the legal progress there. We have, it's just, and everyone's kicked in, everyone's helped out. So the education and the knowledge that you, William, has taught everybody over the last 3 years.
It's you.
That's not me. Anna and all the people that we met, Big Lou from Brooklyn, all these people, I can't remember everybody, but we've all taught and educated ourselves, and everyone comes back with a question throughout the day. What about this? What about that? What about if they do this? We all understand it. When the company makes a move now, we, as one, we're all determined saying, hey, the company canceled the S1 registration. These shorts are trapped. They have to buy the stock back in the marketplace. Whether it's 163 million, 150, 90, 80, pick a number. Pick whatever number you want. If people keep saying to me, how do you know it's 163? I show them the data. Did they buy it back? Stocks go up when they buy it back. No, they haven't. So I say 163. You know what? Take 100 million off. Make it 63 million. The stock's traded 476,000 shares today. There's no sellers. How are they going to cover 60 million shares? That gives you the sign that it's bigger, because they can't. They're going to be forced to buy it in, and the thing's going to take off like a bottle rocket. If finger motion symbol was TSLA, I guarantee you, what you're seeing today, up 30 cents with the market's down 300, every hedge fund on the street would be running to buy this stock. Because they know if there's no selling when the market's down 300, that means this stock is going higher. No selling means it's going higher. And then they figure out there's a big short in it, they come piling in. Why aren't they piling in? Because I'm not sitting here making calls all day telling hedge funds. I don't give a shit if a hedge fund comes in or not. I'm not here to help them. They'll figure it out. I'd rather the hedge fund come in and pay $25 or $30 when it's running. I don't need their money now. We don't need their money now.
So
to me,
yeah.
Again, I'll just repeat this again. Finger Motion has jumped in front of GTI for some crazy reason. They flip-flopped. Okay? Last time they both ran together. But I do believe these are life-changing situations. Like all the people who bought Peloton when it was a nothing and it ran to $200, it was a life-changing short squeeze, correct? The same thing with Beyond Meat. Oh, they're going to sell fake meat. Everyone who believed in the fake meat concept made enough money to go buy a beautiful home or whatever the hell he wanted to do, right? These are life-changing things. We just happen to be, besides having a company I believe is good, based on my own knowledge, what I see, you make your own determination, but I believe it's life-changing because the SEC has allowed this naked short selling to get so big that it can change your life now when they start to cover. And that's what I'm following. I'm not an expert on science, technology, or mining, or whatever the hell it is, right? But I do have a gut feeling that all this, what we're seeing, have been reporting, it's taken 3 years. It's not 3 weeks. So people get over it already. If you just joined in 2 weeks ago and said, how come the stock hasn't gone? One guy says, I've been hearing this for a while. Yeah, okay. So have we. We've been here too. But the stock has given everyone an opportunity to buy low and sell high. All right, so again, I can't tell you where they're going to go, how high they're going to go, but when the move comes, it's going to be life-changing, and that's why we're here.
Who's Frank Sinatra?
He's a pickleball player.
If one
he sang
were
a song, Fly Me to the Moon. So that's why I picked Frank Sinatra. That's why I heard it the other day. And, Fly Me to the Moon should be the song for Finger Motion and GTII.
If one, if you buy a put or puts on Finger and the company, the hedge, I forget how they ask that. If you buy puts and if the stock goes against you, how do you get your money? I can't remember how this gentleman asked the question, but he's
If you buy a put and the stock goes up, your money's zero. Go look at the put activity in the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So that's where Lynn Partners and their friends tried to create stock to short. Those puts that they created all go into zero. You can go look at yourself. The August puts, I'll give you a second. They tried to generate a little bit yesterday activity, and nothing really happened from it. But the August 2s, they traded 3,000 of those. They're often, there's no bid.
That's it. If you buy a put and the stock goes to zero, how do you get paid? That's what he's asking.
They'll go up in value. They'll be parity. You'll get your money.
But maybe you can explain also that the options exchange is completely different than.
Yeah, no, they force settlement. For example, just look at if you bought the $2 calls or the $1 calls, they're trading at $4.90 right now. So they're telling you where the stock's going. It's a little bit higher than where it is, right? Where's the stock at? We know where it is.
I can't tell
parity right now. The August $1 call. Oh, I'm thinking of ones. It's $5.90. I'm sorry. I'm blank for a second. I'm sorry. Listen, if I was a institutional broker, I'd be on the phone calling every hedge fund in creation and telling them about an idea of a stock that I believe has 163 million shares short. The short is Lynn Partners. The stock doesn't go down. The company canceled their S1. Business is taken off of the company. The fundamentals are rocking and rolling. And they'll be looking at you saying, hey, if you're an institutional broker or you're a broker, make the calls. Get back to me. Tell me what they say. If you looked at the stock for 3 minutes, you'll sit there and say, there's no selling in this name. And it has what? How big a short? That would take me 3 minutes to find orders in this stock. 3 minutes, I can make 10 calls and I'd be able to scrape up 500,000 shares to buy. But I'm not a broker anymore, so I'm out.
You're a broker than you were.
Yes, I'm a broker thanks to the naked shorts, but payback is going to be a bitch. And
so the question was, and it's, if I buy a put and the stock goes to zero, how do I exit the position?
There'll be a parity. The exchange you'll be able to close it out. I've never been in a stock that went to zero that had options on it, but you can sit around and wait. Good luck. Let me know what happens.
Do you think Finger will squeeze this month, or?
I hope it squeezes by the time we hang up the phone. You got the wrong guy. I want this over faster than you do.
Someone's pointing the stock is going up. It's 570.
All right, so listen, up 30 cents, it means nothing. That's why I'm having the call earlier, and I'm going to go to the beach and sit there, and hopefully I'm going to go in the beach, and hopefully a shark will leave me to get rid of this. I'm sick of it.
When the shark bites.
This is so ridiculous. I have 40 years of stock trading ability that I believe is top notch. And I'm sitting here, I don't want to say spoon feeding retail investors, but that's what I've been doing. And you know what? The retail investors that I speak to are wonderful people and now are in the fast lane. Okay, this is not, I tried to pick it up. I'm a fast talker. I moved quickly. But again, this is so criminal that I feel great every day that I talked to a gentleman named Alfred, if he's on the call, from Texas. He's a goat farmer. He raises goats. And he owns 170,000 shares of GTII, I believe, and I forget how many shares, of Finger. And having a conversation with a 65-year-old man, okay, with high blood pressure, and he now understands everything about the equity market that he never knew before. And I'm glad to say when the stock went from 60 cents to 9, he made some sales. And when Finger went to 10, he made some sales. And he got back in. Whatever he sold, he bought back. And he thanks me all the time. And his people call me up, his friends, and we check on him all the time. Now, if that doesn't make you happy, then nothing will. And to me, a guy like that who had no one communicating with him, who made himself a nice payday, and he raises goats. All right, so Alfred, I hope you're feeling well, and keep your head up. If any questions, you know where to reach us. Anyway, go ahead.
Anything on FINRA versus Alpine?
Who the hell cares? They're all going to get hung. It's just a matter of when. I don't understand it. You know, why would... The only reason they keep dragging it out, Alpine, is because they're hiding something. There must be something about the statute of limitations, something that they want time to go by at all costs. Because they're spending all kinds of money trying to keep this dead body alive. The body's dead already. You get over it already. Everybody knows they're complete security frauds. Everyone knows. I mean, just look at FINRA. They shut down MMTLP, created total chaos to protect the short seller, right? Whoever they're protecting. Here they have a guy that's a complete criminal. All right, everybody knows they're criminals, and they keep dragging it on. They can't put a nail in this guy. Give me a break.
Are the premiums in the calls, which I think are high, is it indicating anything to you?
Yes, that there's no sellers.
Yeah. All right, that was a wise ass answer.
Well, listen, no one wants to sell these things. Listen, do you want to go out there and sell your calls of the 8s at 70 cents?
No.
Why? Because you believe that, say, hey, man, if I sell these calls, you know, at 70 cents, this thing takes off. I have unlimited liability if I sell them to open, right? So most people look at these things. I told you before, if you want to buy calls, the spreads are big. So if you want to buy the 6s, they're 90 to 110. You buy 5 of them at 110, and you bid 95 for the other. That'll give you $1 average, a little $1.02, whatever the hell it is, right?
Yeah.
That's the way you tip. If you want to buy 100, you buy 50 at 110. You bid 95 for 50. That's the way to buy. That's the way you leg into a trade when the spreads are big. Now, if the shorts had a brain, okay, if Lynn Partners had a brain, okay, which we know they don't. We know those 4 clowns on the desk don't know their ass from their elbow. But again, the way to stop people from buying the stock is to spread it out. Now, I just gave it to you. The options are spread out, so they're basically, everyone's saying that, why do I have to pay up 20 cents higher? You know, these things are so spread out. If finger motion would jump to 7 and the market would be $7 to $9, say, a big spread, who's going to pay $9 for it, right? Correct?
Right.
That's how you get people to give up on a stock. You make it so crazy to purchase it that people would walk away saying, I just bought the stock at 7. Bill, go buy it. You guys say, well, it's offered at 9. I'm not paying $9, $2 higher. And eventually you bid $7.20, $7.50. You call me back and say, I tried to buy it. It's offered at 9. I'm bidding $8. I still can't buy a share. People give up on it. But these guys cannot do that because they can't meet the margin call. So that's why they keep the spreads tight and try to offer it lower all the time, because they can't let it go up. There's your answer on the whole thing. That just shows you how trapped they were. If it was me, I wouldn't offer stock at $5.65. I'd be offering it at $10.65. Good luck. After 3 days of a spread that big, everybody would give up. So I ain't chasing it. But what happens is if one share trades at $10.65, they get a margin call and they called in. So they can't do that. The price will determine the margin call. So William, if I bought the stock at $5.60, I'm going to call my good friend William up and say, William, once you go buy the stock, I hit it, blah, 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 it's 163 million shares short. Take a shot. You sit there and say, where's it offered at? I say $5.65. William would say, hey, I'll take a shot. It's only up 5 cents higher than you paid for it. And William tells his cousin to go buy it. and she goes and pays $566 or $567. Everyone's getting in at the same price. Here they are. They offered it $564 now. They don't even want it to trade at $565. They want to offer it to you lower. And that's what makes this the best play ever, is because they cannot let it go up. And everyone, we want to lose more money, and they want to make sure you lose less money. That's their motto. And the only reason they do that is because of margin. Just understand the pattern. Every time we get a spike, they come down trying to hold it down. GTI just spiked to 87. They're offering it 85.50, 1,000 shares. If I had 1,000 shares of stock, would I bother making a market at 85.50? It's the shorts on both sides in GTI, 85.01 and 85.50. That's the short by the short. All right, so again, you can tell when they're here. It's easy to see.
There was a rumor of a 1 million share buyer the other day. Is that order still out there, do you think?
Someone's buying it. Okay, no, you can listen. If you can't see or feel that there's a big buyer around, then you need to, go to a different business, because the shorts know that there's someone here accumulating it. They're not that stupid. The stock isn't even trading now.
Right.
So
Somebody,
they know there's someone standing around buying it.
just for your information, somebody's pointing out that his account at BNP Paribas, they're now telling him to move his GTII shares elsewhere. That's just for your information.
Move it to Fidelity. I had 3 people do it the other day. Yeah, that's listen, if you want to hear anything, that's normal. You know why? They want nothing to do with it, because they could be liability, because when the stock runs, they have to go out there and chase it down. That's why.
Here's a guy that thinks he's going to get people worried. He says he's a big fan of Finger, but revenues don't seem to justify its market cap. His name is Upsoft88. I'm sure he's new. Very high multiples on revenues from what I see. Genius.
Hold on, I'm going to jump out the window and kill myself.
We're all wrong. Thank God for his analysis, because he's going to protect us from making a huge mistake. Where was he all for the last 3 years?
When it got to 10, I'm sure he shorted the hell out of it. He's made a fortune. So,
he's a genius.
Thank you again for your... Say, listen, what's his name? Upstart, whatever the hell his name is. All you have to understand is GameStop is at $375. I reported on it about the naked short, how big it was. I didn't give 2 shits that it was a store in the mall that nobody was in, and no one cared about their failing business. AMC was $1.75. KOS has with their stupid earbuds selling nothing. Yeah, Kodak, a city that's been dying, the company's been getting crushed, went from 1 to 60. KOS went from $2 to 125. I think it went there 3 times. All right, GameStop went to 550. No shit, they're overvalued. It's called the short squeeze. This is the short squeeze hotline. You want to?
Well,
you want
I actually think
go down the block.
I actually think in the case of Finger, they just knocked through the milestone that was their own goal, was to hit 10 million in revenues for the quarter. They hit 12, and they're going to grow next quarter and the following quarter. China just woke up, and that's from one aspect of their business. So I just, they're booming.
Listen,
they're booming.
I told you 1,000 times that fundamentals are wonderful, but not in the naked short selling game. It's stock settlement. CELU is a tremendous company doing research on diseases that can kill you, and they're trying to find cures. No one gives a flying shit about what they're doing. It's all about stock settlement. If they would have listened to me, their company would be $5 to $10, and they would be able to raise money and be able to save lives. Now, hopefully nobody on this call or family member will get one of the diseases that they're working on to save, whether it's cancer, whatever it may be. because this company is probably going to get destroyed. You know, they'll have to lay people off. Whatever. It's in a debt spiral, thanks to Yorkville. So when you see Yorkville around, there's Yorkville helping build a company. They're helping society build a company, Yorkville.
Well, and you've got to make the extension. Somebody at the SEC is feeling like that's okay because they don't enforce the rules.
Everyone has a family member that is sick or is going to die or exposed to cancer. And how you can even destroy a company stealing a couple of $1 million like it means anything when you're under death's door. It's a friend of mine's sister, 70. She had something. She was at the beach. She had her stomach was bothered. Went to the hospital. She had some sort of something to do with cancer. I forgot how it turned into. And in 2 weeks, she's on hospice. She was at the beach. Now she's in hospice. That's how fast it happens. You have to be out of your fucking mind to sit here and to bash a cancer company or any company that's I don't care even if they're 7 miles away from getting a cure, they are attempting to do it. Where are we going to get the cures from? A witch doctor? This world is sick. These guys stealing money, walking around laughing, buying $10 million condos like Savvy, or Lynn Partners on Madison Avenue or Yorkville showing these tremendous returns. We all know the Kramers are complete trash. They don't give a shit about anything. All right, we all know that. They're a different breed. They don't care. They're just street thugs. I don't even know how the DOJ allows them to go on, but according to our sources, you know, that's coming to an end soon. But again, just think like that. I watched the stock EKSO design a robot that helps people that are handicapped walk. And they naked shorted the stock. I spoke with the CEO. They killed the company, and no one gives a shit about it. It's in a debt spiral. You need 3 technicians to help get a handicapped person into the machine.
The SEC's proud that they let that happen.
Right.
Because it's cleansing. You don't understand the cleansing.
RWLK is the same thing. Rewalk. It's 68 cents. They help people with strokes and handicaps or one legs walk, stand upright, walk. No one cares. No one cares.
The SEC, you just have to enforce with one company, and the rest will get it. But they don't.
These companies will hire employees. Will work on new technologies. Anything. These are people that want to help.
Pay taxes.
Pay taxes. People hire people. Give jobs. It's just everything's destroyed of a stock settlement. That's it.
Somebody just pointed out
for
that
the 10th time, who's looking at fundamentals and evaluations. You know what? Go stick your head up your ass. It doesn't mean anything. Go follow Goldman Sachs stocks. Go follow Home Depot or Nvidia. Good luck.
Somebody pointed out that Yorkville funded MCOM and did a reverse split to $4. It's now 7 cents. Mary, Charlie, Oscar, Mary.
It's the same pattern.
Yeah, and the SEC does nothing. Nothing. What happens to Lynn Partners if one of their prime brokers marks down their collateral or asks for more collateral?
They're dead. They don't have any more money. They're not going to listen. This is not like GameStop, where Stevie Cohen and Ken Griffin saved what was his name? I forgot his name again. Whatever the name of the fund that blew got
Virtue. Bill Huang.
No. The guy that was the short seller. I forgot his name. But Merlin Capital, is that his name?
Merlin, I think. Or
anyway, they
Melvin.
Sorry, no one's going to bail out these guys. This is going to be an empty spot on Madison Avenue shortly. These guys will be vaporized, and see you later. That's the end of that. It happens all the time. Like the guy he hung, whatever his name was, Credit Suisse. He blew up Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse is gone. He's going to jail for fraud. His people that work for him all ratted him out. That's what happens. And it just keeps moving on. The damage was done. Credit Suisse is gone. He's going to jail, and it just moves on. That's what's going to happen here.
So someone was just talking about how he recommended and his friend bought the stock at $7. There's no chance that you're ever going to pick the low when you buy. I mean, his friend's frustrated with him that he paid $7 and now the stock's $5.50.
Well, a shareholder told me he bought like 200,000 or 300,000 shares below between 60 something and I guess 80 something cents. So he picked the bottom. Congratulations.
Kodak's ticker is KODK.
KODK.
Yeah, KODK. Do you, in your opinion, think that all short selling should be banned? All of it?
Yes. Give me one reason that they should be. Give me one reason why it's good.
It helps Goldman Sachs, prime brokerage.
That's it. That's it. People, write this down. Stock alone, okay, which controls the short selling, supposedly, is unregulated. If you show up with a bag of cash and you want to short NVIDIA and they tell you, hey, we all know NVIDIA is overvalued at $460 a share. We all know it's got squeezed up and you can't borrow it. And you say, I want to borrow 200,000 shares to short. And the guy's standing there with his hand out and you give him $200,000 in cash. He'll say to you, hey, just tell anybody we said it was okay. Now you go out there and you short 200,000. Who's regulating that? Nobody. If you chase it, if it goes back from the SEC and says, hey, William, you shorted 200,000. Where'd you borrow from? Oh, I borrowed it from Morgan Stanley. Go speak to Joe Blow. He told me it was okay. And he writes down, yeah, I told him it was okay. The time they figure that out, the stock is already, he's covered it. It's down to $26. He's made $26 200,000 times. He paid $200,000 in some sort of fee to get it done, and now he's already made $4 million. That's how it works. It's unregulated. They keep telling you that they give liquidity to the marketplace, or they inject information that we don't have. I know, without knowing anything about NVIDIA, when it's squeezed from 300 to 460, that it's overvalued. Do I know what day it's going to go down? No. Are the puts too expensive? Yes. Would I play it? No, because to me, the risk reward is too high for me. But we all know it's a short. I don't need some idiot to tell me it's a short. I can figure it out myself. But we need them, they said. When your house is overvalued, you don't understand it. They can tell you when to sell your house or your car. That's how smart these guys are. They're all full of shit. If they're so good at what they do, why are they always on TV broadcasting that the stocks are no good? Because they want you to panic and sell it. Go look at what's his name, Carson Black, Andrew Left, Hindenburg, Chanos. They're all out there. The guy from Persian Square. Herbalife is a fraud. Chanos, DaVita is a fraud. DVA, it's a fraud. They all yell fraud. It's like yelling fire in a movie theater. And we got to respect those people. All of those calls are wrong. All of them have been wrong. But we have to respect these people. They deserve no respect. I used to work for guys that shorted stocks, and I never seen one report, a negative report. They never went on TV. I never saw anybody say boo about their short position. Zero. A matter of fact, I always tell the story. I shorted U.S. Surgical. I started at 22. My last sale was 122. Our average was weight 85, and we bought it all back, I think, below $15. It took 2.5 years. And I think it was 5 or 6 million shares we were short. I was the guy shorting the stock. I was 0 for 20 buying puts. I never made a quarter. And I was a short seller. It wasn't my position, but I figured if my client's betting this much money, it's going to drop one of these days. I was 0 for 20. I never made a penny. I lost money. That's how difficult it is. But if you come out and come on TV and CNBC puts Andrew Left out there on TV saying, oh, Etsy, ETSY is selling counterfeit T-shirts. Oh my God, it's awful, counterfeits. The stock went from 130 down to, it's bounced back now, but it was down to 80 something. They took 50 points off the stock. 50 over the bear raid. That's what we need Andrew Left for. Because they have a counterfeit T-shirt. Who the hell knows? How does Andrew Left know there's a counterfeit T-shirt at Etsy? Are you out of your mind? And the company is going to be, they labeled it as the clearinghouse for counterfeit goods. No shit. How about Goldman, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Jeffries? They're the clearinghouses for counterfeit shares. No one talks about it. To me, a counterfeit T-shirt means nothing. Counterfeit securities, we got $27 trillion of them now. I can tell you which one's a bigger problem. I got that off my chest?
You did a good job.
Well, listen, I memorized all these crazy things. And, I may get a name wrong here or there, but I understand. Listen, people, Wall Street's about memorizing things. It's the same shit over and over. It may not be a biotech, it may be an auto, it may be this. MULN, if they didn't dilute itself to death, it was the beginning of a new Tesla, correct? A new auto company. I think I had an idea, he's building a car, I don't know how good they are, I don't know. But it's the same pattern that Tesla had in the beginning. Tesla broke through after all the attacks, even the New York Times, their fake story at $25 trying to put it out of business. He survived, and look where he is today. MULN, they're not letting him get out of the ropes. They're going to try to kill this guy. The company's 12 cents. He needed to fight and do everything a while back, but I didn't know him back then. I bumped into him when the stock was 50, but he's already reversed it, killed it, and now it's a total shit show.
What are your chart friends saying about Finger now?
Every chart person, and I'm not a chart guy for the 1,000th time. The only time I look at a chart is bar chart, BAR chart. I hit the interactive chart on the left-hand side, and then I go to the daily, and I can actually tell when the bear rates come because you can see the big red bars, and I add up the attacks, how many shares they do. That's the extent of my charting. Everyone's got numbers that are telephone numbers. It's people that you wouldn't, I can't, big board guys, real chart guys. A friend of mine who passed away, he was the head chart guy for Fidelity Management. He used to take the chart books. Bill every week he did the charts on the weekend. He had the book. He used to do it and sell his reports to Fidelity. My friend used to work with him, and he does it himself now. And he called me up, and he said, this thing is going to explode. So there's real, serious chart people. Again, I'm not the chart guy, just telling you what they say. They say this thing's going to explode. And I tell them back what I believe, and they say, well, something's coming. And they all see the same thing. So these up and down 20 cents, 50 cents, means nothing. The move is coming, and I don't know what day it is, but I do believe, again, and this is my opinion, GTII and Finger are life-changing situations that we've documented. We put the truck in front of the SEC for 3 years. If there was nothing going on, you think the SEC would have called the companies up and shut them down already and said, what's going on here? I do. So obviously, 3 years of whistleblowing, calling the SEC up, the DOJ, going to the FBI, you name it, politicians, me and William walking around with other people in D.C. This is gonna happen. I just don't know what day. The company made a move with the S1. Just write it on your wall in your house next to your desk. All the positives and all the negatives. And get back to me and tell me what you think. Do your own homework. It's easy. Do your work. Hey, William.
One guy is asking, he says he owns the $8 calls in Finger. What if the stock goes to $108? who's going to be able to afford to buy his calls from him if he wants to sell?
There's always a market in the stock. It's computerized. There's a market maker. These options, they have to make a legitimate market. You'll get parity for them, though.
Right, no
You'll
premium.
be able to sell them. Whatever you pay for your calls, they'll be worth 100. They'll be worth 108, whatever it is.
Right. One gentleman at Fidelity says he's having a hard time entering good to canceled orders above $5. I don't know if it's true. How would you handle it? That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe there's a number you can't sell it above. How would you handle it?
Call Fidelity and ask them. Say, listen, I'm going on a trip around the world. I'd like to put cancel orders in. Call them up. Tell them that. Say, I'm going around the world. I want to put some good to cancel orders in. I'll be back in a year. Put them out there. I'll be 3 months. I'll be gone. Make up a stupid number.
So
find out what. I don't know the number.
Sorry. These shorts are feeling pressure. How are they? Where's the money coming to keep them alive, or how are they still standing?
How are they still standing is, I don't know how the Leaning Tower of Pisa is still standing sideways. I don't know. I don't understand who's giving them leverage. There's no one. If you lent them $10 million, if the stock goes up 10 cents, you lost it all. So no one's lending the money to these characters. Whatever you're seeing is all complete fraudulent activity.
Oh, Fidelity lets you put one in at 5 times the current price, but no higher. That's what it is.
Oh, my God. I just told you about the woman, my friend's sister, just letting you know she just passed away this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How fast is that? And people sit here and, we're giving you your time. Time is the most valuable thing in your health. And these scumbags destroy companies, and people pass away from the cancer. It's amazing. Life is too short. So people sit there and think that I want to make this drag on. I don't know how to make it go any faster. I'm not a regulator. I'm not the FBI, DOJ, but it's a disgrace. And I told you before, they're going to steal from you, your kids, your grandkids, unless you stand up and fight. I don't care if you own the stock, don't own the stock. It means nothing to me. But you need to educate yourself and spread the word. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to get sick, God forbid, and you're all going to die. And you know what? We all know it's coming. But you can't have them stealing your money for your kids and your grandkids. You got to wake up. This is a disgrace. I have nothing to do with this. I didn't create this system. For some stupid reason, I understand it. Don't ask me why I'm cursed with it. But trust me, I want to sell and go sit by the pool and not pay attention to this ever again. But I know so many of you are so stuck and don't understand it. That's why I keep coming back. I speak with William every night. We say the same things. We're getting older. Why are we doing it? We do it because we know that there's so many of you that ain't getting robbed. That's it. I'm not looking for a medal. I'm not looking for anything. When it goes, I want to disappear into the woodwork and never see me again. I could care less. All right? But again, we do it. I'm here. I'm involved, and that's why I report it. It's easy for me to talk on the phone, to tell you what we hear. What you don't have to listen. I don't care if there's one person on the phone. But again, I just told you about a woman who just went to the hospital 2 weeks ago and just died this morning. Just now, I just got the text. So that's life. And these guys don't give a shit about it. And I don't know how to convey to you that this has got to stop. Because they're killing companies, CVM, Northwest Bio, NWBO. These companies for years, OPK, GERN, GEN, IK, you name it, stocks. They could care less. So all I ask you to do is speak to your politician, your representative, the MMTLP people, keep it up. I don't know how to, you got to stop it. You guys have to do it. I did 23 years already. Someone's got to pick up the baton and finish the race. Anybody, everyone can help out. That's all I can, it's it. You know the short, you know how big it is? You make your own determination. Call a cop and knock yourself out. We did. We've called the SEC up hundreds of times, hundreds, whistleblowing. We put the truck in front of the SEC because now everybody knows we're whistleblowing. The SEC will never tell you, say, hey, we got 100 calls today on FNGR. They never tell you who's whistleblowing. We put the truck there so everybody, the 12,000 people that follow me, whatever it is, they all know we're whistleblowing. We can't yell any louder. I told you we're going to put the truck out there and play the circus music all day, or the Mr. Softy truck, drive them crazy. I don't know how they go home and not stand up and say something. It's like they're looking at this behind the SEC building. There's just murdered investors, just piles of bodies. They could care less. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they could offer. I just hit the stock up, and they offer 800 more shares. Who's allowing these guys just to keep manipulating it for 800 shares back and forth all day long? Same thing. Anyway, people, I'm going out. I'm going to the beach. My family's there. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to sit there, dig a hole, and bury myself in it. Anyway, have a great day. I can't do much more than this. You know what it is. You know the opportunities in front of you. You know what you can do. Spread the word, report, retweet, anything you like. Read those stories with the big frog. There's 10 stories there. Read them all. Read about Savvy Management. Go look at his condo that he actually did a story on, that he pays proud that he stole $10 million, and he's bragging about it to a magazine. Who the hell robs $10 million? Not more, it's probably $20 million, and brags about it. I mean, you talk about insane. That just shows you the balls of these guys. Anyway, listen, everyone, have a great day. And,
Thank you.
You got it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ham. Bye.
You got it.
All right, everyone. That was great. It's 1:16, and I think I'm gonna end. I haven't eaten, so I'm gonna go get lunch. There were a couple of questions, but I don't remember them being major, so I'm gonna try. Unless there's something quickly, I'm just gonna sign off, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm going to go get something. Jeff, I don't think I like Lynn Partners very much. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining in. And, next time there's a bat channel, same bat time, we'll come live again. So, ciao, everybody.